What's up, y'all? So we are back, and sorry for the hiatus. We kind of went on a slight break because I disconnected from society for a solid 5 days. I was at a giant $87,000 added barrel race this past weekend, and it was glorious. Horses did great. Didn't have any access to the internet, and we were sweating our wieners off because I was dressed up like a princess all weekend. Barry's giving me a weird look now. Hey, I'm just saying. Ain't nobody ever seen a Disney princess run flags at a rodeo event before. I was dying, man. Those Rapunzel and Merida wigs, super hot to wear. Anyway, that's not the point. So the world went on while I was gone, and I saw none of it, which was kind of refreshing. So Barry, what has been going on in the world? What did I miss?
Nothing.
Wow, that was
There
anticlimactic.
wasn't much that happened this week, which is a good thing. It's all the same stuff. It's
Well, I will
the
say,
protest and stupidity.
well, that's what I
about
was
it.
going to say. The first thing
That's
that
all it is.
I've seen recently were all of the protests that are still going on. I swear, you see one, you see them all. They're kind of lame. They're kind of boring. Y'all have way too much time in your hands. I actually have a job and horses to take care of and things to do. I don't have time to go dance with, all these terrorist organization peoples and then complain when the school says I can't graduate because I was in support of a genocidal maniac. It's weird. But I actually did see one thing over the weekend, the one time I tried to get my Instagram to load. The very first thing and the only thing that would come up, because we were in the middle of bucktooth nowhere in Texas, was the fact that all of these frat boys from Ole Miss are having a counter protest chanting USA, USA, USA. I gotta say,
Yeah, the
I've
frat
never
boys.
liked frat boys more, and that bar was already really low.
I was gonna say I hope that was low.
It was. I don't really do fraternities and sororities, but it is kind of comical to see all these liberals freaking out, basically, saying, oh, look at these white frat dudes because they were helping the police throw away all of your garbage and your loitering and your tents and your Palestinian flags. Oh no. Woe was you.
Well, the thing with that was I don't know. I think it's.
What do you know, Barry? Maybe that's the
not a
easier
whole
question
lot.
for this Monday morning.
Not a whole lot.
Because I gotta tell you, you know what I know? It's finals week for a lot of people.
Including you?
Including me. That's actually what I've been doing all morning, was getting schoolwork done. Because much to my
you were gone all week.
Yeah, much to my dad's dismay, my priority since Wednesday has been my amazing horses, independence, and liberty. Not getting my schoolwork done. So I need to get it all done
So now you
by
gotta cram it by today.
Yes, I have to get most of it done by 11 p.m. tonight. One of the things is like worth a fifth of my grade too. See, to all of my generation people out there who are protesting Palestine, this is how you protest, okay? You go do your thing and then you come back and you get your schoolwork done. You can't just go out there and go
How
dance.
was that a protest?
What?
How was that a protest?
No, I'm making the correlation. They went out and protested and did all sorts of illegal acts, and then they're complaining when they don't get to graduate. I, on the other hand, spent my weekend doing something like rodeoing, and then I come back and I'm still going to get my schoolwork done and I'm still going to graduate.
Yeah.
It's called time management skills. I may procrastinate, but I'll tell you what, I can write a 2,000 word paper in about 35 minutes and I'll get an A-.
Well,
I get that from my dad.
Well, on that too, there's
and my mother. My mom's the grammar police. She's giving me a dirty look now.
Well.
See,
yeah.
I get my speed typing from dad. I got none of the grammatical skills from my mom, hence the reason why she still has to edit some of my papers. I'm dyslexic. I don't apologize for anybody, okay?
Hold on. As somebody who actually has dyslexia, Are you really dyslexic? Or are you using that as an
I'm
excuse?
self-diagnosed. I don't want to go get
You're one of those who
diagnosed
lie
for
that
anything.
they're dyslexic, but they're not really dyslexic.
I gotta tell you though. Who, what, where, when, why? What? I have not spelled those wrong my entire life.
So her mom just said that who, what, where, when, and why she apparently has misspelled her entire life.
Who,
I don't know how that is, but
WHO.
How do you not know how to spell those? Do you mean like
WHERE?
the the past tenses and
I
like
don't know
all
what
that
she's
stuff?
talking
Like,
about. She's BSing
like there,
right
how
now.
there's three different types of spelling. Is that what you mean
She's
by?
BSing and she knows it.
Okay.
She is just salty right now because this past weekend, while I was actually at this rodeo clinic / competition, I applied for another scholarship and didn't get it. I got it. It got given. It got given. It was gifted to some nepo babies, I think.
Well, in
Because
life, it's always who you know.
It really is. Because I'm going to tell you what, total side tangent here. I have this scholarship application. Why are you giving me a weird look? Okay, I have this scholarship application paper. And when my dad, my mom, and I were working on it, I swear, Barry, it is like 12 plus pages long. And the guy we actually submitted it to was like, my eyes glazed over when you handed this to me. This is so much. What the heck? And I'm just like, well.
Wait, okay.
It's all true. I did it all.
Hold on 1 second here. So
yeah.
The application, was it just write a paper? Or did you did it specifically ask for
awards, things that you've done, community service? So
it's like a resume is what you're saying. Like a resume, and your resume was so long.
Yeah, it was just
Because
really
you put
long.
literally probably every single possible thing you possibly thought of on there, and not just the bullet.
I mean, everything in the past couple of years. If I put everything, Barry, I could go all the way back to when I was 11.
You just said you gave him 12 pages.
Yeah, and that was just in the past like 2 years.
Oh, Miss Overachiever over here.
If I wanted to, Barry,
listen,
and I wrote down everything I could list from when I was like 11 and I spoke on the USS Lexington about veterans and affairs.
I know this is an application for a scholarship, but the rule of thumb is you make it as short as possible whenever you're trying to get a resume. No. You make it 1 page, 2 at most. If you're at 2, they usually don't even care. Usually cover letters right now, a lot of people don't even like cover letters anymore. And so I guarantee with scholarships, when they have to look over thousands, they're not going to look at 12 pages of I did this once and I won this thingy here with this score. It is not my fault and I improved on this score the second time.
People,
like,
Barry.
Is that, so I improved here. I did something here. I did this. What you should have said. Well, I'm just saying.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mom. Correction. 8. It was 8.
That's so much better. Oh my goodness. We went down from 12 to 8 when they're looking for probably 4. Oops. Okay, and they don't like 4. You should have said I was like rodeo queen. I did all this stuff. I do all this other extracurricular stuff. Mm-hmm. That's probably pretty much where you should have left. In my opinion, probably should have done a video essay.
Thanks.
That's what you should have done.
You know what? This scholarship was from who we in the rodeo world like to refer to as, why are you giving me all of that? Okay, Mom's giving me this thing of to not say anything, but literally no one in the politics world who watches me knows a thing about rodeo, and no one who follows me for rodeo watches any of my politics stuff. Thankfully, those 2 groups of people do not cross because I don't think that they would get along very well. Speaking of people who do not get along very well, have you seen all the memes that have been coming out from like the Babylon Bee that are making the cross references from like Nazi Germany 1940 circa era, where like the Nazi Aryan youths were blocking Jewish kids from entering college campuses, and then the relation to the Palestinian kids blocking the same Jewish kids from.
I haven't seen that.
Oh, you haven't seen that?
I'm gonna Google it. Okay. What exactly?
It was the Babylon Bee. They were just making a joke about like they may not be on the right side of history. And I just thought it was I thought it was interesting. Why do we go to college anymore? Why does anybody do this? I wonder this every single day. Because, okay, you just said, Barry, that they want the shortest possible thing. No, they want to fill quotas. Because if they were actually looking for the most qualified people and the people who have accomplished the most, they would just pick that. Not based off of gender, sex, religion, color.
Again, the shortest thing is I'm saying they don't want to. They're not going to look at 12 pages. That's why
I know, but it's because they stopped looking at like the list of accomplishments, honors, and things that they're able to do. That we now have college campuses that are filled with morons, like what we see rioting every day. That's because you guys lowered the intellectual credibility of these people to be able to get into university, because now, I mean, basically anybody can, as long as you have enough money to pay for it, or you can. Okay, I'm getting there, mother. about not having money to pay for it because now you get your student loans canceled. Or what I was going to say was you have your parents fake some kind of sports scholarship for you, and then you get in, and it's basically 4 years of partying, cancel culture,
Mhm.
cultural correctness, wokeness. I don't even know what it is anymore.
Well, okay, so that's because affirmative action, in my opinion, is a huge part of it.
Yeah.
Is it's all
Tell me.
basically we got, like you said, the quotas, and I completely agree with you. And
Mhm.
schooling nowadays is nothing but I go and I spend a lot of money and I go into a lot of debt that I have to pay back for the rest of my time.
No, actually, you don't have to pay it back because Joe Biden will just,
Okay, yeah, I agree, but
for you.
technically that's not still happening yet. And
I don't
so,
wanna pay mine
um,
anymore. I'm not.
yeah, I
And mine
mean,
are already pretty low because I'm an online student.
well,
I'm not doing room,
and to be fair,
board,
I'm pretty
the
sure your parents saved up
sororities
a lot of money for you too,
nonsense.
so
Well,
which a lot of
I
people
think it's
don't.
dumb.
So,
I don't wanna pay. What if I just stopped? What if I just
what are they gonna do?
didn't anymore?
That's what a lot of people are doing right now. They're just, what are they gonna do?
I feel that. I respect it. Our homies with the tax evasion. Let's do it. Why not? But Barrett, you said earlier that something over the weekend happened with at least she was one of my favorite governors, Kristi Noem, but you wouldn't
Oh,
tell me what happened.
yeah. Okay.
So what's going on? What did I miss while I was in the middle
Okay.
of nowhere with horses?
So Christy Nome came out last week with okay, I don't know 100% about the story. I only know like the excerpts of it.
Yeah.
But basically she came out with like a memoir, okay, of her life. I think she's like in her
Her life
50s.
and
And
story.
basically just all of the stuff that she did. Well, her memoir came out and she got basically lambasted. This was the
Mm-hmm.
number one story. She put down a dog, one of her dogs, because she lived on a farm in North Dakota, and she showed one of her chapters or something like that was putting down a dog. The
Yeah.
issue with putting down the dog was she was like, "I'm happy about this. I'm happy about that dog being dead. I'm happy that I ended up killing this dog because the dog was almost useless because it was a farm dog and it wouldn't work. So instead of rehoming it or repurposing it,
So it wasn't like
basically
it
she
broke its leg and
correct.
she
Yeah, but
needed
but
to
in
put it
in the
out of
book, from my
humanity.
understanding from the excerpts, again, I didn't read it, but this is what I heard from everyone say, is
Uh-huh.
basically she almost kind of reveled and was like glad that she did it. And so ultimately, she basically killed her entire career. She basically, because again, she's a politician, you have to look good in the public. And I'm not saying it's a good thing that she did what she did, but I don't understand how you can write a memoir about your
Mhm.
life and add that in there and
Okay,
just
are
be
you
like,
taking this out of context? Because
no,
farm kids,
nah,
ag kids, FFA, 4-H, like,
let me pull it
there
up.
was a time in my life where the last time I raised chickens for 4-H, we had 50, and I took 3
Mhm.
to show, and my brother took 3. The other 44 kind of had to be turned into chicken pot pie. And
Yes.
my abuela actually was the main chicken murderer of the week because she hung the chickens up. This might be horrible. She hung the chickens up on the clothes wash line and she taught us about how she used to kill chickens when she lived in
And
Puerto
there's nothing
Rico.
wrong with that. It's a chicken. This is a dog.
I know, but I'm just playing devil's advocate here. Where's the line of me versus friend? Because I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of glad those chickens were gone because those chicken pot pies and chicken noodle soups were delicious.
So here's the quote that she says. She says, that he was nasty and mean, smelled disgusting and rancid, loved cheese, her children knocking the clothes, blah blah blah. And basically she was like saying, I don't remember exactly where it is again. I promise you. I'm not taking it out of
Wait,
context.
go back up. It says that.
She was happy she put it
Wait,
down.
Gnome also killed a male goat. Wait, was the dog killing animals?
Uh
I'm
Again, I don't recall exactly. I didn't look at it. My point is all I did was I listened to other people's commentary and that's where I got the information.
okay. That might
But
be part of the problem because
well,
as somebody who grew up around farms and farm kids and usually Great Pyrenees who are their livestock guardian dogs, when those dogs start attacking and killing your livestock, you have to get rid of them. Now, granted, the smarter, more humane way would just be to rehome it. But sometimes those dogs, like there's something mentally wrong with them. They
mhm.
need to be put down. mean, they are very closely related to wolves. Livestock guardian animals are literally bred to be vicious, to bite, and to kill. That's why you trust your
and I understand
livestock
that.
into their trustworthy paws, if you will.
No, and I
That's
understand that, and I agree. But and sometimes you do have to put down animals. I get it, but again, my understanding was she apparently like reveled in it. She was glad. It just was a bad look for a politician, but that's not even it. That's not the whole thing. That was just one of the big things. This other one here, actually, I'm gonna pull up.
I mean, she was a farm kid.
Again,
Maybe I don't understand the context of this, but I'm failing to see why this
I agree.
is
You're winning me over. I understand. I
bad.
agree with you. But again, I'd have to listen to her more. Again, I wasn't too much.
I need to read this, whatever it is.
This is the one that I was really looking at.
Okay.
This is what I was trying to get, not just that one.
Talk about meeting some world leaders and one specific one. Quote, I remember when I met with North Korean dictator Kim Jong-un, I'm sure he underestimated me, having no clue about my experience staring down little tyrants. I've been a children's pastor after all. Did you meet Kim Jong-un?
Kind of funny, but listen.
Well, you know, as soon as this was brought to my attention, I certainly made some changes and looked at this passage. And I've met with many, many world leaders. I've traveled around the world. As soon as it was brought to my attention, we went forward and have made some edits. So I'm glad that this book is being released in a couple of days, and that those edits will be in place, and that people will have the updated version.
So you did not meet with Kim Jong-un. That's what you're saying.
You know, I met with many, many world leaders. I've traveled around the world.
She didn't even write this, did she?
Extensively in this book.
That's my point. So this whole thing.
I like that comment though at the bottom of that said she had a ghostwriter just making shit up.
Well, but that's what I mean. Like the thing is, like she had this memoir. She didn't even write it. She didn't even read what a ghostwriter wrote for her. So like,
okay, did this ghostwriter not know who she? Okay, that line though about the I've stared into the eyes of, you know, the little dictators. I've been a child's pastor.
Yeah,
I literally work in childcare, and that is 100% true.
I agree. I understand.
I work in a child care facility in a church with 2 to 4-year-olds. Those little, they're precious and absolutely hysterical, but some of them are downright mean. I have been utterly roasted by 4-year-olds on a daily basis. And some of them, I swear, the things that they think of that they just say that's completely out of pocket to grown adults is ridiculous. That's 100% true.
And I agree, but I'm just saying the point is like
the whole thing about she didn't even meet with
her
Kim
not
Jong-un,
even writing this stuff.
That's kind of sad.
And then her portraying that she wrote it. You know, it's not like somebody wrote a biography for her. She
that seems deceitful.
If she didn't write it, she could have said, you know, somebody wrote this around me. I kind of, you know, perused it. I didn't read every word, even though you should have read every word.
Okay, I don't get why she didn't write it herself. My dad always talks about how he wants to write a memoir for himself one day, and he says he's always actually been writing it. I think he has a Word document on his computer about it, and he'll randomly send on the family group chat like these little snappy little one-liners in his book. Why wouldn't you just write it yourself?
It's obviously a money grab.
You know yourself, you know your life better than anybody.
Well, I agree with you.
Why would you have a ghostwriter do it?
That's why I think it's like a money grab, and she was clueless about what she was doing, and that's why the whole dog thing came into the issue.
Okay, but actually, pause on that though about the dog thing. Look at the comments that are coming in. I think that's on Facebook. It attacked her kids.
Yeah, so that's what I was going to bring up is the dog thing. If the dog attacked her kids, I understand that. I need more context. Like I told you from the beginning, I didn't really know too much about it, but no matter what, it's a bad look for a politician. And again, she is the top 3 contenders for VP.
Okay.
She's 100% the top 3. Now she's not going to be one of them. It's almost like she almost didn't want to. She almost sabotaged herself.
I don't know.
That's my theory, but she didn't even write this book. And so.
Okay. My dad must be truly rubbing off on me because I can hear his voice in the back of my head right now talking about what would be appropriate to say and not to say as a politician, and talking about killing a dog may not be one of them. But my dad and I also disagree on plenty of things. So that's a common discourse at the Meister family dinner table. She was a farm kid. Their farm dogs are not your, like, it's not this thing. This white fluffy thing that's sitting under my feet right now that's literally just like my Velcro dog, just to protect me, to hang out with me, and to annoy the crap out of my mom. They're not that. These are dogs. They're outside dogs. They're farm dogs. They're livestock protection dogs. They're not the cute and cuddly ones that your kids play with. They're not the ones that you let in the house. I mean, I know plenty
Well,
of
again,
people
most
who
people don't
let their farm
understand
dogs
that.
do that. But most people, most
They
farmers,
have no idea.
those are working dogs.
But again, most Americans
Most people don't know
have
that.
no clue how a farm works. Okay. Again, most people that I've had arguments with before, I ask them where do they get their food from. They say the grocery store.
I know.
And so it's like that's the most brain dead answer I've ever heard in my life. But I'm saying they have no idea what a farm dog is. And I understand if the dog was attacking your livestock and attacking your family, I understand. I'd be pissed off at the dog too. I saw a video yesterday, and this huge pit bull situation happened last week. Of this pit bull was attacking some dude in an urban area, and all of a sudden a group of pit bulls were attacking him, and a cop had to come by and shoot them. And like it sparks the debate of pit bulls are evil dogs. And it's
not all
the
pit bulls are evil, but it's always
they have a
pit bulls.
tendency to be an evil dog, and yes, the ownership is a big problem. There are not good pit bulls out there, but I'm saying my point of the thing is sometimes you have to kill a dog. But I do think we as humans, as in a society, have a responsibility to dogs. Does that make sense? Because we have basically domesticated them so much that they need our assistance to survive.
I know.
And
That's
so-
why I kind of understand that the
I
best course of
understand your
action
point, too.
might be putting the dog down. Because if that dog is aggressive, killing livestock and attacking your kids,
I agree.
I don't know if I want to invest all that time and money into retraining and mentally diagnosing and trying to fix this dog when I have a farm, livelihoods, animals,
Correct.
children to worry about. And that's coming from me. I'm the ultimate dog lover, okay? No one ever better touch my dogs. But also at the same time, I understand working dogs.
Mhm.
And that's another thing. Why would we have to sugarcoat everything about agriculture and the South and the way that our way of life has worked since the 1800s? Because some liberals in DC who have never left their little duplexes, they don't understand that their tofu and their vegan leather creates more CO2 and kills more little innocent baby fluffy animals than our Angus beef cattle.
Well, I don't think any of those people actually care about anything.
No, they don't.
They
That's
just
my
want a
point.
virtue signal.
It's
so.
yeah, that's my point. Virtue signaling.
Yeah.
They don't care about anything else because if they did, I saw a Vice video actually about this. It was vegans versus farmers, and the vegans were basically calling the farmers murderers for killing their sheep and their Angus cattle. And he's like, you know what? I've actually killed people. He's like, I'm a soldier. I went and I fought and I did things overseas in a war that I wanted nothing to be a part of, but I did it so you could wear your vegan leather and you could have all of these ridiculous PETA values. But I didn't do it so you could come back and then you could get onto me and call me an evil murderer because I'm trying to feed a country. And then they went into the whole science behind vegan leather kills more, little field mice and bunny rabbits and birds and vermin with all their pesticides because they're trying to keep all the blood bugs and the plants and the birds off of their vegan synthetics, which create more CO2 and cause more animal deaths than just your average Angus beef cattle. But that's beside the point.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
I
don't understand vegans.
Yeah, I don't know. But anyway, my whole point is it was really interesting. I almost think she's trying to torpedo her career. That was the whole point of it.
I don't know.
That was my thought.
Maybe hot take. Maybe she's done.
That's what I mean. She's trying to torpedo her career. She's like, I don't want to be vice president. I'll stay governor.
I mean, if I was her, I really wouldn't want to be VP with Trump either right now.
Right.
He's in the hot seat. Like, that's basically to put in a giant red and white target on your back saying, shoot me.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
find invisible dirt
they're going to shoot
on
him
me.
and then she'd be president. But I mean, there's that.
I meant
if you want.
I did not mean literal.
Okay, well, I didn't know if you were. I didn't know if that's what you were trying to say.
Oh my gosh. No.
But anyway, that's what the media is all talking about. That's what everyone's all talking about this week. So, but I have actually something that I want to talk about. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sure you've seen this.
Possibly.
If you were alone in the woods. Hold on. Can you just let me ask the question so we can get this going? Goodness. I need to know your answer because I might flip out on you if your answer's stupid. And it's really going to piss me off.
Oh.
And anyway, so let me answer the question. Let me ask it. Stop it.
Ask it.
If you were alone in the woods and you had to just somehow a magical choice of a path to follow a bear.
Wait, follow a bear?
To encounter So you have two paths.
Yeah.
And you see some shadowy man figure that you know is a man.
Okay,
not a trans.
I've seen the TikTok trends.
Let me ask a question. Let me frame it, please. This is ridiculous. Everyone online is doing this stupidly, and it's really pissed me off.
Okay,
and everyone already knows my answer.
We get that you're pissed.
But my point is this: one is a bear, clearly a bear, and the other one is a random man that you can meet. What do you choose?
Question: which bear is?
It doesn't freaking matter.
Oh my gosh, I'm being
this
Dwight
is a wild
from The Office.
bear.
Okay, I got it.
And a random human being.
All right,
man.
Barry.
What do you choose? I need to know.
Barry. First of all, I have two different answers for this, and I mean that genuinely. Okay, I have two different sides of things. I already posted a TikTok about this last week, saying
I didn't see any on TikTok. I just need to know your answer.
I'm telling you about the TikTok that I posted because I pissed off a lot
of. Get the freaking answer? I want to know.
I would be there if you would stop interrupting me. Thank you. I posted a TikTok last week, and a lot of men are pissed off at me because in the video I said I understood why a lot of women were choosing the bear because I wouldn't trust my own ex-fiance around me anymore, and I would happily choose the bear over him any day of the week. And
that's not the question.
Barry, not everything is just like bear or man, okay?
Because that is literally the question.
Oh my gosh,
no.
Barry?
Yes, it is. I did not say a specific human being.
Okay, a black bear, I would choose a black bear. Those things, my last words will be, here, kitty, kitty, kitty. I will pet that thing any day of the week. Those things are fluffy. I actually have a dead black bear on my wall in the kitchen that I shot. The thing was about the size of me. Do I think that I would survive if I took that one in a fight? Probably, yeah.
You shot a bear?
I shot a black bear.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, I did. The thing was like 500 pounds, and it was like my size.
The one downstairs?
Yeah, that's mine.
I didn't know you shot that.
Yeah, it's mine.
Wow.
I shot that when I was like, yeah, I basically laid on the ground and I shot up. It was in Virginia.
Was this okay? For anybody out there, I found out through them. I'm not a hunter. I grew up in the city.
We're well aware.
They don't know me. Goodness. And so I found out through them that you can actually go to like land that's fenced off and hunt
it's not
deer.
Fenced off.
So that's the question I'm getting to.
Public land.
Was this bear an actual wild bear, or was this a domesticated wild bear?
Okay, there is no such thing as a domesticated wild bear.
The deers that you go and shoot are domesticated wild deer.
Oh my gosh, you sound like a liberal. No, they're not. What is a domestic?
I hate that we're getting off the subject that I want to get onto. Oh my gosh,
Barry,
my mind.
Barry, no hunter.
Can the deer wildly go anywhere it wants to go, or if it hits a fence, it's
okay? There are some properties that specifically have what we call high fence, which is when they have usually like 500 acres set aside to help the wildlife in this area. They can keep them healthy. They make sure that they're well fed, and they can make sure that that's not domesticated.
Okay,
Barry, domesticated would be a
the word
pet.
Domestication. That
makes this sound really sick and demented because that's what Teddy Roosevelt didn't want with our national parks. They literally brought him a grizzly bear on a leash and said, "Shoot it."
Is not
he
the
said
right
no.
word, but you know that there is a level between that domestication and actual wild.
That's not domestication. It's high fence.
Whatever
Those
that
deer
middle ground
are still
is,
gonna scatter.
I don't know the word from domestication to wild. Whatever that word of middle ground, there's a level.
They're still wild deer. They're just in a high fence.
But you're feeding them.
No, we don't. Oh yeah.
No.
The deer that live out in the ravine.
No, not
the lady down the street literally feeds them peanut butter.
The other week, right?
I went hunting last Tuesday, and I shot one nilgai, and my dad shot a nilgai, and then
But the way that you guys explained it to me is you guys go to a plot of land that is fenced off.
I'm going to explain this to you. We have a friend in South Texas who. Great family friend. We love him to death. He's just a great guy. There is a species of animal called a nilgai. It's native to India. It got brought over to South Texas, and basically it's now native to Southwest and slightly East Texas area. This guy down there has about 500 acres specifically designated to keeping this nilgai population healthy. Now, as of right now, he has about 50 girls on the property. He has about 30 bulls right now. And a nilgai can drop 2 calves every year. Okay, so do the math on how fast these things reproduce.
I understand
he
that, but again,
needed to get rid of some of his bulls so he could keep his population of, heifers healthy.
I
So
understand
we
all that.
basically had to take away a few. Now it is it's not even a high fence property. It was a normal fence. An average American white-tailed deer could have jumped this fence. Nilgai, they're big. If you Google them, they look like cows. They're smart, but they're not smart enough to know that they can jump these normal-sized fences.
But again, my
They're
point
not
is this.
trapped there.
So,
They just don't know that they can jump
Okay,
it.
just so we get back on track, because we're going way off the weeds. I don't really care about too much. But
Well,
this
it's a
bear
fascinating
that
subject.
you personally shot, I think, is very impressive. Was it in an enclosure like that, or was it actually in the wilds of the forest?
Okay, South Texas doesn't have forests, but it is his
Where
property.
you shot the bear?
It was on his property.
No, the bear.
No, the bear was in
Thank you.
the mountains in Virginia.
Shannon,
You just asked
Shannon,
about the Nilgai.
No. I said get
Because
back
the
on track.
Nilgai
The
were on
bear
his
that you shot.
property.
Yeah.
Okay, the
You
bear
didn't
that
hear
I
that.
shot was on public hunting land in Northern Virginia.
In the wilds of the world.
Yes.
Correct.
And we
that's my
used
point. I feel like there is
Eagle
a
dogs
there is
to
a
hunt the
difference.
bear.
And I'm not saying the deer situation doesn't matter. But my point. Okay.
Nilgai,
So
not a
anyway,
deer.
back to the actual thing. I just want to clarify that.
Oh, good
I find that
Lord.
very impressive. That's actually really insane. I didn't know you did that. That.
Yeah, the thing was huge. I got
but
people
my
pissed
point
on
is
Instagram
this.
about it though.
But well, sure, someone has to own almost all the land anywhere unless it's a national park. I
Well,
understand
we
that.
had to get on it.
Yeah, but
It's
that's
not
what I mean.
fenced.
It's not fenced. But my point is this. Okay,
That black bear just
back
wandered on
to
the
the
wrong
original
place.
question.
Yes.
The question: would you choose alone in the woods to be next to a man or next to a bear? It could
I
be
mean-
any bear. Let's say, for the sake of argument, a grizzly.
Okay,
don't
grizzly
care about
bear,
the-
I would choose any man over the grizzly. But
That is no.
okay,
No.
the point of this, okay,
Even
I
if you're
think a
armed,
lot-
that's still a
okay,
situation
can
that's
I,
ridiculous.
as the woman with the uterus in the room,
Oh.
explain? You don't have a mic. You can't be heard. Every time we give you a mic, you don't talk, and then every time we don't give you a mic, you do talk. This is why this is complicated. The point of this trend, and I think a lot of guys kind of skewed it to make it think
Oh, I know the point of the trend. Go ahead.
women, I mean, at least not all the sane women. We're not saying that we hate all men.
Yes.
But no, Barry, I'm not saying I hate all men. But given the choice between being in the room with some specific men that I should have been able to trust with everything and a bear, I'd just go hang out with Winnie the Pooh and just chill and be like, "Here,
So
kitty,
Winnie the
kitty."
Pooh is not a real thing. Bears are wild.
Yeah.
They eat their own
Okay,
cubs.
okay,
Listen,
Barry,
hold on. I just
wait.
let you talk. So
A
this is my
bear
issue.
would see me as a threat. Some men would see me as an opportunity.
I agree with you.
That is my point.
Some. And that is the problem
That
that,
is
I
the
have
point. I
with this
said some.
entire situation. Is
Barry,
this is the question.
I think you're just mad that a lot of women said bear.
No, I think it's idiotic. I'm not mad. I don't. Well,
Are
maybe
you?
maybe I'm upset. I'm idiotic how stupid people are. A bear, okay? It is a wild bear
Yeah.
that can maul you, eat you, leave you for dead with one swipe of its paw. Okay,
Yeah.
and then I understand, but so what you're saying is you have a chance of going to be next to a bear and
Yeah.
encounter a bear or encounter a random human being.
No, not a being, just a man.
I'm sorry.
because
Fine, whatever. A random man. It doesn't.
That's the point.
But it's not. The point is, it's astronomically out of control to attribute less than 1% of douchebag dudes
Oh, good
who will
Lord.
commit evil acts to all men. That is what you were doing.
Barry, the point that most women were trying to make is that specifically with the people that they have in mind for this trend,
Correct.
they would rather be around the bear
But that's
that
not the
would see them
question.
as a threat
The question
than
is
the
man. No.
than the man who saw them as an
What
opportunity.
you're
It's because
doing-
women, there are things that women fear more than death.
And I understand
the
that.
point.
And that is, again, this is the thing that you women for some reason cannot understand. And it's really frustrating me that you can't understand this either. And I don't know the way to
I'm
explain
well
this.
aware the bear could kill me.
Because
I've
I
got
understand that, but what you're doing is you're equating the actions of a small minority man or one man or three men or not just you in general.
Barry, I
from-
wouldn't want to be
onto
alone with
everyone.
any guy.
Why? You
Because
have an
I'm not-
interaction with guys all the time.
Barry,
Everyone
I'm
does in
never
their life.
alone. I'm never alone with a perfect stranger man. I'm well aware that I don't got all the muscle in the world. I it's been made excessively clear to me that given the opportunity to fight any man, not even a guy who works out regularly, I'm not able to overpower him.
Correct.
If they wanted to do anything to me, it wouldn't
Correct.
be that hard.
And I'm not
That's the
saying that
point.
one, but that is a
That with the
small minority
Barry-
of all the men in the world.
Barry,
And that is the problem
point
with
still stands is that with a lot of women, unless you go out of your way to specifically become a bodybuilder, you're still weaker than most men.
I understand that, but again, what you're doing.
I don't think you're saying the point that
No, I do
women were trying
understand
to
the
make.
point.
We're well aware that the bear could kill us, but we're also aware that so could the guy.
You would rather die than you take your chances, which is 98% of all men in this hypothetical situation. 98%.
I'm not saying I would pick the bear. I'm just
You just did.
okay. Given the choice between the bear and some specific
98% chance that a
yes.
man will never do anything to you, and you choose the man.
Oh my gosh.
That is what's the problem with this entire situation. Huh? I'm sorry.
yeah.
Correct. Yeah, you're correct. Yes, she chose the bear. Yeah, I'm sorry. And that's what most women on the internet are doing. And that what you're doing is you're taking that 2% of men, whatever it is an astronomically low number of men that do this stuff. And what you're doing is you're equating that to the rest of the 98% of men.
Barry,
That
I'm
is the
well
problem.
aware of the numbers, okay? You don't gotta tell me I'm perfectly
Then
aware
why
of
would
everything.
you choose the bear over a chance of 98 over 1 or 2?
Because I'm a woman in 2024 who walks around with a P38 in her pocket because I'm well aware of what people threaten me online.
Again,
Barry, you've made it very clear. I'm well aware it's not all men, but it's always a man.
that's not 100% true at all. There's been so many things in the last couple of weeks about women.
Yeah, but that's happening
kids.
to men. To men. Or to a child. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about
I don't know how to explain this any other way. Like,
I'm just trying to
you're
explain
equating it to every single man and just basically man hating is what it is. You would never, and I know this, and I do know this, you would never want to be alone with a bear. Yes, you specifically, Savannah, would not want to be alone with a bear, I guarantee you. But you are willing to be alone with a man.
Actually, as a white woman, it is my rite of passage to try to put anything in a sweater and to bring it home and try to domesticate it. That's every white woman's rite of passage.
You
my
know exactly
last
what I'm trying to say
words
here.
will be trying to domesticate something I should
You're not stupid at all. You know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, but you're being obtuse. I'm just trying to explain the woman's perspective of it. It doesn't mean that I agree with it.
By the
In
way, I
all
don't hate
cases-
bears in the comments. I love bears. It's the problem is I hate
don't
that
like
there's stupid
bears.
people that will choose a
I
bear
shot a
that will
bear.
kill them
He was delicious. Bear
over
rib.
the chance of being rescued by a man or just having a man ignore you or ask you that, oh, do you need help? Okay, bye. That's what most men will do. And I mean the vast majority of them. I understand
I'm
you're
well
kidding.
aware.
I was just going.
I'm aware.
Yeah.
I'm just explaining.
Yeah,
women
you're doing
work-
the woman thing
Oh my
of
gosh.
having to you go into 15 different avenues. That's not the question.
Barry,
You're changing the
women-
variable.
Barry, 98% of women who are doing this trend were not throwing all men in that category.
They are though.
No, Barry, they weren't.
There's
They're-
TikToks right now saying anybody that chose that's choosing the man is showing their true colors. It's becoming a litmus test.
Okay, Barry,
That's what they're all saying right now.
I can promise you, fine, we'll make it a little bit more number appropriate. 90% of women who were doing that trend had one specific man in mind.
And that's my point. That is literally my entire premise of the book.
They had one in mind.
I agree
Possibly
with
a
you.
few.
And you're putting that onto all of men in a random chance to be next to
Okay,
a man
Barry,
in the woods.
I don't think you saw
That
the
is my
original point of this trend. The original one was would you rather be stuck with that man specifically or a bear? That was the point. It wasn't
That's not what it is now.
Barry. It wasn't
If
a
that's
random
the
man.
original
Barry,
video,
you're being
that's not
obtuse.
what's going on.
The original trend was would you rather be stuck with one specific man that you can think of or a bear? That was the point. It wasn't a random draw of 3.5 billion men in the world that you could get stuck with some random dude from India named Akbar or some old fat dude living in his basement in Minnesota named Tony. That wasn't the point. The point was if it was one specific guy that you could think of, would you rather be stuck with him in the woods
So
alone?
is that the question that I asked? The question that I asked was
that's
random?
deceitful. No.
it's not deceitful.
Because that wasn't the
You're
original
being
trend.
deceitful because you're changing the question.
Barry, the original.
Yes.
Okay, ask the original question from the trend and stop changing it to your perspective.
That's the question that I know. I know nothing about this original
Well, then maybe
video.
you should look at the original one.
Okay. I guess I have to look at the thing, but that's not what's going on right now.
Barry, that is what's going on right now because all my For You page is filled with women explaining that they would rather be stuck in the woods with a black bear or a grizzly bear than their ex-husband or their ex-boyfriend or their baby daddy or whoever it was, because they would rather take their chances with the wild animal that would at least see them as a threat than the guy that they trusted that took advantage of them.
I understand that.
That was the original
and that
point.
is a completely
and any
different
guy
context.
who says otherwise
that is 100%
is a little
different
misogynistic.
That's
you guys live in a completely different world than us. And I'm not saying that men don't get abused because that happens and it does need to be talked about for men's mental health, but the vast majority of victims of domestic abuse are women, and it's most always 99.9% done by people that they trusted and that were close to them.
And I agree with you.
Given the choice between a random man from around the world out of the 3.5 billion, I would happily take the random draw because the percentage that I would get a
terrorist. That is the point, and that is the question I asked from the beginning.
The opportunity that I would get to get a terrorist or a rapist or a serial killer is very low. But given the choice between the original point of the trend,
which is not the question I asked,
which is deceitful because that was the
wasn't
point of the
deceitful.
trend.
I didn't know about this original thing.
Well, then
it doesn't matter. And again, that's not what's going on right now. We can pull up TikTok and I will show you plenty of stuff where they're saying that it's all men. It's not just one. What they're doing is they're projecting that one.
The only women who are saying that it's all men are liberal, pro-choice, Planned Parenthood, crazy people.
They're virtue signaling victim personality.
Yeah,
they need
because
the
they're professional victims.
Correct. That's what I'm
We've got that.
Correct. Yes.
But for every woman who did the trend who was like, yeah, I'd rather be stuck with a grizzly bear than my ex-husband because he's the reason why I had to buy concealer 2 shades lighter than my skin tone.
Nartu makes a good point. Is the man good looking or is he ugly? Because that kind of does matter with people, but most women think.
Well, if he's hot, he's probably a pretentious douchebag. If he's ugly, at least
if he's hot, they'll go after him and say, "Oh, even if he could be a complete douchebag." But who knows?
Probably look at the original point of the trend. Because, yeah, there are a couple viral, very popular videos that are putting all men in that category. But then again, there's literally the flip side of this,
I
of
understand.
the exact same trend, but backwards, involving, would you rather have a thought daughter or a whore?
Like, that's the same thing.
Apparently there's a difference.
A thought is that hoe over there.
I don't care to learn the difference because
a thought is short for that hoe over there.
Okay, I don't care.
Which means she's a whore, right?
I really don't care.
I don't understand what you're trying to say.
Okay, my point is, there's trends going the exact other way of men talking about their non-existent daughters.
Correct.
So I'm not going to be over here having a pity party for like the men who are offended that these women.
You think I'm having a pity party? Is that what you really think I'm doing right now?
But I could tell there are people who are listening who are going to think that.
That I'm having a pity party, or they're having a pity party.
They might be having a pity party. I don't freaking know.
Because I'm not having a pity. I just don't understand the lack of logic, the lack of the statistics.
Because you haven't been in that situation, so you don't think that way. We're biologically different. We have different circumstances, different situations that we've lived through.
But the other random guy could be your dad. It could be me. It could be your brother.
Barry,
those are the other random people that it can be.
You don't walk around every day wondering if somebody is going to come up and grope you because you're like a 6 foot tall. How heavy are you? 300 pounds?
Yeah, somewhere around there.
No, you don't fear that.
I know.
I'm 120 pounds.
I know this.
I am very easily pick-upable.
I don't disagree.
And thrown into the back of a van.
And just to clarify, I don't disagree with that at all. I don't just. I support women having a gun. I support women having self-defense as much as I possibly can.
That's why I feel perfectly comfortable walking around on the street because I'm the most dangerous thing walking on it.
But that is not the premise of this question, is my point. Women are technically choosing a bear that will kill them over a random chance of a man, which is 98+%.
Okay.
That's the problem that I have.
Okay.
And you're basically,
and my point is that the original trend was one specific guy.
But that's not what it's turned into.
Okay.
We're just going in circles now. But that's not what it's turned into.
Oh my God.
Anyway, it frustrated the crap out of me.
Quite frankly, given the choice between being in the woods with a random guy that has like a 2% possibility of sexually assaulting me and the grizzly bear, I would still choose the bear, honestly, because I want to fulfill my white woman destiny. Pet it.
I hate you so much.
You know, speaking of Christy Nolan the bear, I have a very possibly blackmailable picture of me actually with that dead bear, and it had a Marvel pink bow in its hair.
What? Why is that?
For some reason, when I was
a
younger, I always brought some kind of hair accessory to put in the deer or the bear's hair when I killed them, so I could take a selfie with it. And in this particular case,
Why is that bad? Like, why is that?
I don't know, because some people might think that is like creepy or sadist or something. I just wanted to make sure the bear went out in style.
Okay, so
I was like 13.
do you know? Okay, that what you're just saying, what you described, reminds me of a picture. You know who Steven Spielberg is, right? He's a director.
Yeah.
Steven Spielberg wrote Indiana Jones, Jurassic Park. He took a picture when he filmed Jurassic Park with the animatronic Triceratops,
Mm-hmm.
and then the caption became that he hunted for it, and people tried to cancel him for it. A Triceratops
It's extinct.
thing
Yeah.
that isn't a live being, and they all got mad at him because he killed
Mm-hmm.
an animal. So I'm just like, that's what reminded me of you and your bow and your bear. But anyway,
Yeah, those pictures will never
anybody seeing
see
that picture will understand what I'm saying.
the light of day. Because I can think of like 4 actually off the top of my head. The bear got a Marvel bow. One of my deer that I killed that we ate, I made him flower crown. Another one of them, I put like one of those like braided headbands. Actually, this Neil guy was one of the first ones I didn't put like flowers or like a bow in its hair.
I'm gonna
But I
pull this
did
up
have
right
to
now.
take a fire hose
This is
to
what
clean
I'm
him out
talking
from the
about.
inside.
Is this picture right here? He took this picture
Oh wow.
of a dead dinosaur, and literally as a joke. You know,
Isn't
this is
that
back
the
in
one
2000.
from the movie that was like constipated or something and they had to like relieve it? It's not dead. It's just lying there because it was constipated. Right?
Are-
That scene
Are
from
you serious right now? Are you kidding?
Isn't there a scene in Jurassic Park where
You just said that movie with what? How many movies about dinosaurs are there?
I mean, actually a lot. Jurassic Park is franchised out. There's like lots of kid shows, animations for it. Camp Cretaceous was particularly weird. But isn't this from the scene where the dinosaur was like constipated and they basically had to like...
But just the way that you answered that, that's ridiculous.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not particularly a Jurassic Park fan. I don't like...
One of the biggest movies ever. I know it was built or it was made before
you
you were there,
what?
but I mean, come on. Like,
how many
have you not
movies?
seen? How have you not seen Jurassic Park?
I have, and you know what? I'm very actually excited to see the one that they're coming out into 2025. I think that'll be interesting. Yeah, they released it. It's supposed to be coming out like May 2025 or June, something like that. But
my point is, people tried to literally cancel him for this picture, and that's just what it reminded me of.
Oh well,
that was the whole point of that with you and your bear thing. I just think that was funny. But anyway.
Oh, good glory! It's a dinosaur. It's
exactly
dead. I want to have dinosaur ribs with face. Well, actually, in the new Jurassic Park franchise, aren't they all like running loose throughout the entire world? Aren't they like huntable now? Like you could like hunt, and there's like a max that you could get of them a year.
Yeah, no, I think that was all poaching. I think it was the last ones with Chris Pratt was okay. It wasn't that good. The first one was Jurassic World was good, but the second one wasn't.
Well, the whole plot with the daughter being a clone of its mother.
That's the one. Yeah. That
was interesting.
Maybe that's the third one now, I think. I don't remember.
No, the third one was when they kidnapped Blue's daughter because she reproduced the same way that they did with the daughter who's actually the mother.
You're right. Yeah.
And
but
they
anyway,
went to like
I didn't like that
Cairo.
one. It got really boring. It got really they shouldn't.
But it's Chris Pratt.
No, yeah, he was great.
He's adorable.
But the story was pretty
bad. I'd be alone in the woods with Chris Pratt. That's fine.
See, there's that. Is he hot
Can
or
I
ugly?
Pick Chris Pratt though.
That's a random chance.
Well, I feel like he would be good to have a theological discussion about. He's always talking about that at the most random times. In between him explaining that you got to pee and then poop in the toilet so you could flush it really fast and the smell doesn't come up.
What?
Didn't you see that video a couple years ago?
No.
He got an Oscar for Jurassic Park, actually. And when he went up on stage to speak, he said it was basically his 10 things by Chris Pratt that you should do to be successful in the world. And it was like riddled with weird stuff like that about
So he put
peeing and then
comedy into
pooping.
his
Yeah, but then he was like, you need to find.
He's a funny guy.
I know, but in between that, he put that in there so it'd be more, digestible for people who are atheists. But then he would be like, you need to have a relationship with your Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. And then he would go on and then say something else that was like really out of pocket. And then he would move on to say, be a good father, have relationships with your kids.
Gotcha.
Blah, 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 blah.
Which is stuff that they don't want to hear at those awards.
No.
No, okay.
That was just my point.
Anyway.
I'll be in the woods with Chris Pratt. That's fine. Actually, I'll be in the woods with Chris Pratt and then we'll go find the bears. Do the whole.
I'm not going to lie with you. I don't think there's a man on earth that would rather see go into a bear alone or into a bear alone.
Into a bear alone? What?
Into the woods alone and see a bear. They would rather see
a woman.
Well, nah. Maybe not.
A bear?
Be alone in the woods with a woman might get really annoying.
Well, that's actually the next trend. It was, would you rather be alone in the desert
that
with
was
a
dog joke, by the
or
way.
A woman?
Well, every
single
choose
guy
a dog.
said a dog.
Every woman would choose a dog.
I like talking, so I like to talk back. Can't do that with a dog.
Anyway, that was a joke, by the way.
Annoying.
Yeah, but you know
I
what?
already know
Anyway.
ignoring my dog a lot. He's just like deceased on the floor. He's fine.
Well, again, yeah, I don't know. Anyway.
Blah 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 blah. Whatever.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of other movie franchises that are kind of like maybe going down the drain, did you know that Star Wars actually
I knew you like that.
Did you know that Star Wars, actually, it's specifically Disney. Disney is losing money since they bought Star Wars from Lucasfilm.
And also Marvel.
No, but they bought Lucasfilm.
Yeah. Well, you know how much they bought it for.
Yeah, apparently
it was like $6 billion or something.
They haven't made it back. I find that really hard to believe. It's because of that stinking Kennedy woman who's taking over Star Wars. She sucks. Dave Filoni is amazing. He is a saint in the Star Wars world. Kathleen Kennedy can go take a long walk off a short pier. Dave Filoni is amazing. And Mark Hamill, oh my goodness. The Biden headquarters campaign, whatever you want to call them, they basically just did this stupid TikTok, like 15-second video with Mark Hamill, where he's basically like, I don't know who I'm voting for in November. Obi-Wan Kenobi. You not join them, you moron. Ugh, haven't you learned anything? Ugh.
Well, he was at the White House like all weekend or like week last week. Like
May
he was
the 4th.
Like, here, I'll just pull this up.
Mark Hamill has decided to join us on this wonderful Friday.
Wearing
I am really excited to turn
this
it
is
over
terrible
to Mr. Hamill.
size.
Here we go.
Okay, how many of you had Mark Hamill will lead the press briefing on your bingo card? Hands? Yeah, me either. And look, I just got to meet the president. He gave me these aviator glasses. I'm telling you. I love the merch. Love it all.
Okay,
But
we're not gonna watch it. I can't
I got
do
bored
that.
so fast.
We can't do that. But why? I hate when the any president does this.
They bring in some
They
influencer.
bring in some
Joe
random
Biden does it all the time.
Well, they all do.
I really don't
Trump
remember
did the same thing
Trump
too.
bringing in.
I'm pretty sure he had Kim Kardashian with him. He tried to do that prison reform stuff.
Went Trump. That was like Kanye's own thing.
Kanye did the thing too. Kanye
kind of wanted. Kanye was just Trump 2020. That was
if
just
there was a
his own
celebrity that was
personal
willing to
opinion.
be seen with Trump, I bet he would have done a lot more.
I
But they were all willing 'cause he
mean,
was
Trump
trans.
was more on the side of like bringing in America's frontline doctors and like pastors to pray over him.
That's
But,
because it's the
like,
only people that would do it.
quite frankly, that's the only people who should do it.
Correct. I agree.
Is to pray over the
But yeah, no.
president. Pray for his mental
Anyway,
sanity.
the-
Pray
the
for his
whole-
brain. Hope it doesn't rot.
Again, this whole thing with Mark Hamill though too. The guy is
Brain sucks.
I mean, his Twitter is ridiculous over the last couple of years anyway.
Was.
Like,
It's really uncomfortable.
but again, that has nothing to do
Like
with
watching the prequels.
His
With knowing
acting,
all of this now.
I'm sorry, in the first film is god awful.
Actually, not the prequels, the originals.
He's
That's Mark
so
Hamill.
bad at his acting. He's a great actor now, but oh my gosh.
Okay, so
That's what I can't stand about Star Wars. It was so
Okay, Barry,
bad.
I am an avid Star Wars fan. The originals were, honestly, for their time, they were pretty amazing. I'm not gonna lie. Was Mark Hamill a little bit painful to watch?
Yes.
With him screaming? No, but also like it was the 80s. They were all 70s. They were all kind of dramatic like that. Personally, my comfort Star Wars thing / the thing that like ripped out my heart on May 4th, 2020, when the Clone Wars TV series ended, was the Clone Wars specifically. But the prequels were amazing. I mean, Natalie Portman.
Well, they're amazing. That was also around the time that you were. Well, I mean, you wouldn't.
No, actually, I wasn't even alive when some of those came out.
Well, it came out in 2001 was the first one. So yeah,
because Hayden Christensen was hated by all the people who loved Mark Hamill, and I saw this really adorable meme / video the other day that was talking about how Star Wars Day happened 2 days ago on May the 4th, and basically everyone was just screaming about how much they loved Hayden, and it was talking about the fact that Hayden had to wait for the kids who love him to grow up and be louder than the adults who hated him. And I don't know, I thought that was really precious. Because in politics, in our world today, we kind of need a place to escape. And that ends up being, you know, your fandoms. But
Correct.
Star Wars is going down the drain because Kathleen Kennedy is terrible and they're putting their own political spins on everything. And that's why Rey sucks.
All of Disney is, because they're doing the same thing on Marvel too. That's why Marvel's died.
Marvel started dying after Endgame because it led up to that, and it just
they did the
kind
same
of
thing. But I mean, I
now we're going into
love
Secret
Marvel.
Wars.
I love the Infinity Saga, but the thing is, like, it got completely destroyed. There's been 3 other good ones after that.
Which ones?
Spider-Man, Doctor Strange.
No Way Home.
Okay, yeah. Well, both Spider-Mans were great. Far From Home was technically after Endgame, but it's part of the same thing. But No Way Home was really good. I personally
really liked the Loki.
Loki's pretty
show.
good. I haven't seen season 2 yet, but season 1 was pretty good.
They have a season 2 out. See, I don't pay attention anymore.
Yeah, neither do I. I've been stopping. I don't care. I didn't even watch Secret Wars.
I
I haven't watched
Wars.
any of this. I haven't watched Secret Wars.
That was actually kind of good.
I haven't. I watched.
Thought it was
I did watch WandaVision. I watched Captain America or Winter Soldier, and whatever that one was.
Winter Soldier got into the whole BLM.
It was okay, but yeah, they went way too political way too quickly, and it was like, I don't really care. I want to escape. Like, that's the point of this.
Yeah, they went down the whole line of the bank man is racist because he won't give them a loan. But I'm like,
a racist bad person too.
You blipped out for 6 years. You have no credit.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure anybody who got blipped away is now being discriminated against.
Yeah. But yeah,
sorry?
No, they've destroyed all that stuff too. And it's really kind of sad though, because I think they had a really good, with this multiverse stuff, they had a really good chance to make a really cool story, but they really ruined it with, I thought in Loki, you watched the full Loki, right?
I watched the first season of Loki. I didn't
That's
know
what I mean. The first season, that's one. So when they introduced Kang, and they had that whole thing with the scene with Kang, I thought it was great.
I was more paying attention to the fact that they literally made Loki the ultimate narcissist by having him fall in love with himself.
Correct. Yeah, no, that was the point.
We all saw that.
Yeah, well,
we're jealous.
That was the point. It was funny, but no, I think they really ruined it. I think Ant-Man was god awful. The Quantumania one was so terrible.
I only got halfway through that, and
yeah, it's so bad.
I didn't finish it. I still need to finish it.
Yeah, you don't need to. There's nothing to finish.
Find the time. I'm more interested in Bad Batch season 2 that came out the other day, and it's like already finished, and I'm really trying not to watch spoilers on it. But you know, everything's political, and I'm kind of scared to watch it. I know that Ventress comes back. I'm excited for that, but like, they had to freaking put politics into everything, and it's just like, ugh, gross.
I don't know when they'll ever learn. But
they won't. Ever. It'll just be like a sad political spewing garbage just on everything.
Yeah.
Hence the reason why they had Mark Hamill in the White House. Didn't like that.
Very
Not
cringe.
in the least bit.
Yeah, but you only like him because you equate him to Luke Skywalker. That's
I never liked Luke Skywalker. Quite frankly, I didn't
Then why
care.
does it bother you?
Because
again, he is an actor. I mean, they are separate from their characters they play.
I don't like that they
Same with the
take
Robert De Niro
things like Star
about.
Wars and they try to politicize them. Because he's like doing like Joby-Wan Kenobi, like Joby-Wan Kenobi. That's not even, it doesn't even make sense. It's not even eloquent.
It just sounded cool.
It really didn't. It's not even the right movie. Like, whatever. We're not gonna. You know what we should do for an episode one day? Star Wars movie marathons.
We can do, if people want us to watch it, we can watch it.
We should watch The Bad Batch. The Bad Batch is amazing.
I've never watched that. I don't know what that is.
Well, that's sad for you. Because I think Star Wars is more interesting than all these politics in the world anyway, because I'm just really bored with all of it, as I'm sure all of you are as well. Anyway, I think that's a good ending point today on Star Wars, because I really need to go get my schoolwork submitted. So, like, I gotta go. But before I do, don't forget to like, comment your favorite Star Wars movie, and then don't forget to follow us on everything else. It's The Savannah Lynn, The Savvy Truth, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram. Did you say LinkedIn? Link in the description below. I was about to be like, we don't have LinkedIn. We are going to go Thursday. It's gonna be great. So tune in again on Thursday at 1 p.m. Texas Central Time if you want to see us talk again. Maybe something interesting will happen in the news, but if we don't, we will just bullshit this, because this again is the BS podcast. Logo coming soon if Barry would ever get it together. I want the horse sparkling poop emoji, just like on the ground. Anyway, peace.